Hello guys, welcome back with another video, and today we have once again what if Sasuke ate Kaido's Devilfruit, or you could say the long title, what if Sasuke ate the Uda Uda no Mi model Sarayu. And good news, I did finally get the second idea that might come out this week or next week, depends on how lazy I am. But anyways, that aside, as always, before we start, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, enjoy. Now, let's get started, shall we? But first, play that intro. Also, don't forget sharing helps.
Every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying everything. See you in the next life, have to be a better me. I don't think that my head's on straight, gotta flip it and grip it and go and get an x-ray. What's wrong with me? I just feel weight pushing on my chest.
Okay, training period. Naruto and Sasuke still end up being retrained by their respective masters, Jiraiya and Kashi. Well, at first Ebisu, but then Jiraiya. This time Naruto still trains for the summoning jutsu and to try and bring out some of Kurama's chakra. Summoning jutsu still goes basically the same as in canon. This time when Kurama asks what Naruto wants, Naruto would add that he'd also like the power to defeat Sasuke. And Kurama, not being the biggest fan of the Uchiha for obvious reasons, let him have access to the power to defeat Sasuke in the Chunin exams. Sorry, a bit more of his power this time, so he gains access to the one-tailed cloak much earlier, which would actually impress Jiraiya. But nevertheless, moving on. On to Sasuke's training, a few changes such as Sasuke would learn the Chidori in a shorter time, though using his own lightning, the one he gets from his Devilfruit. He creates a much less chakra consuming version of that, so not just 2 a day, like 4 a day. But that limit doesn't matter in later, so his dragon form gets bigger. Now to about the size of, let's say, Hokage Tower. Besides that, more events of the 1 month training period basically go the same, including Dosu trying to kill Gaara, that fails horrifically, Gaara paying Lee a visit and Naruto and Shikamaru saving him, many other things that I won't name. So moving on to the second half of the Chunin exams. And of course, as promised, these things are randomized. First match we have, once again, Gaara versus Shikamaru. Shikamaru isn't winning this one. Gaara kinda doesn't move anyway, so he could stop his sand, but I don't see him stopping all of it, so Shikamaru just quits before he dies. Yeah, this is the second time in a row getting matched up with Gaara. Okay, next up we have Neji versus Tamamari. So the fight begins. Tamamari kinda just uses wind scythe jutsu to keep Neji from getting close to her, with her saying that this won't play out much different from what happened with his friend, as Neji will remark on how he's nothing like Tenten, throwing some shuriken at Tamamari, which she easily deflects with her fan with a smirk, saying really, then prove it, before throwing another gust of wind straight at Neji or wind scythe jutsu. As this will blow Neji back, with him trying to think of a plan on how he could get over that wind scythe jutsu. Initially thinking of rotation, although that plan is quickly dropped as he'd soon run out of chakra if he just kept spamming it. But eventually, after being knocked back a few more times, even being knocked into a tree and near unconsciousness once, Neji will finally think of an idea and just go running straight towards Tamamari, with Tamamari calling him a fool before launching another attack straight towards Neji, and this would be a direct hit. However, to Tamamari's shock, Neji is just still standing there, as Neji would quickly resume charging at Tamamari, as Tamamari would try again and again to get Neji to be blown away. However, he'd just be sticking in the same spot. although Neji would be covered in slashes and really standing on the edge of unconsciousness. But nevertheless, this is enough to finally close the gap. He finally being ranged to go in for attack with Tamamari swinging her fan straight at Neji, who would use rotation to deflect it, which would knock the fan away. Neji will remark on how without that she's now done for, then landing the 8 trigram 64 palms on the woman, which would heavily damage her, also along with rendering her unable to use her chakra, and from there it's an easy jutsu fight with Neji, which he easily wins and knocks out Tamamari, as he would be declared the winner of the match. He returns to the stands and Tenten would ask how he stayed on the ground, with Neji just remarking on how he used his chakra to keep himself attached to the ground, like how you would do with water walking or tree walking, before sitting down for a rest. Well, moving on to the final match, you probably guessed it by now, we have Naruto versus Sasuke. Okay, big one. Naruto excitedly jumps into a empty ring. Naruto angrily yelling, well, where is Sasuke? Before Sasuke and Kakashi would make their big and dramatic entrance. As with the apology from Kakashi on being late, the match finally begins to start up, as Sasuke would also apologize to Naruto for being late, and that although if he was late, Naruto would have probably won. As Naruto would say, so he's assuming the match is already over, telling Sasuke that he's getting a bit cocky. As usual, as Sasuke would laugh this off, Naruto saying that he wouldn't have preferred winning that way. Anyway, so the two get ready to fight, and with about a moment of silence jump straight at each other, clashing elbow to elbow before jumping back or arm to arm, not elbow to elbow, as Naruto would throw some kunai straight at Sasuke, him just tanking them before jumping straight at Naruto as he punched Naruto straight in the gut, with Naruto narrowly avoiding this attack, or launching a flurry of punches and kicks at Sasuke. They would just end up doing nothing really, into a one final punch to Sasuke's forehead. As Sasuke will remark on, is Naruto done yet, with Naruto saying that he was hoping that his defense wasn't that crazy, with Sasuke using like wind release to boost his leg, does a swift roundhouse kick to Naruto's chest, blasts him straight back, making Naruto land on his back as he soon gets back up from this. Sasuke would ask Naruto if he has anything else up his sleeve, before then seeing orange chakra emerge around Naruto, and it would start forming the face of Kurama. Naruto's face would suddenly lift up with more fox-like traits now being apparent. With his more fox-like traits being more apparent. With one roar from Kurama's face, Naruto would dash straight at Sasuke, appearing right in front of him. Sasuke having enough time to say that he's fast, seeing Naruto's own roundhouse kiss, this time to Sasuke's side, like the side of his, much like how Naruto did to Ishiki, before dealing a similar combo to the one he did to Sasuke in the Valley of the End in canon, the one where he just kept punching Sasuke in the air, and then finished by, I think it was either kicking him away, but this time it's kicking him to the ground. As Sasuke will remark on how that one actually hurted, saying that once again before looking down to his chest and wiping a bit of blood off his lip. As Naruto would ask, is that not the cockiness out of him yet? Now Naruto smiling ear to ear, or Sasuke telling Naruto that a few hits don't mean much, and activating his Sharingan, saying that he's about to get a bit more serious before transforming into his dragon state, now this time towering over Naruto instead of being the same size. This time kind of casting a shadow over Naruto as he let out a big gulp. Sasuke would fire a blast breath straight at Naruto, it being this time more of a beam, as Naruto would try running away and the beam would chase him for a while, with him having to duck and dive and flip and backflip out the way. Luckily, he is able to make it through, although his arm does get cut up in the blast and is kind of left with a giant burn with his sleeve now in tatters. But luckily, Kurama's chakra is able to heal that, so he's fine. as Naruto would summon a few shadow clones. Okay, not a few, a lot of shadow clones. Using the Naruto cannon, this time with a bunch more shadow clones, they will all be thrown straight towards Sasuke. Naruto spawning even more clones. Sasuke will open his mouth this time for a much bigger blast than last time, hopefully to wipe out all the clones. As feathers would start to fall from the sky. With Naruto then suddenly falling to the ground himself, knocked out asleep. Sasuke about to go to sleep himself before snapping himself out of the genjutsu. As the invasion would finally kick off with a bunch of sound and sand shinobi appearing. The usual stuff. A large-scale battle breaking out as start to soon emerge around Naruto's body, with Sasuke taking notice and quickly getting Naruto from there, carrying Naruto to a safe place like in a forest nearby. Gaara ignoring orders, wanting to still fight Sasuke and kill Naruto, and jump straight towards them. Ibuki trying to tell Gaara to wait, as Gaara would soon be joined by Kankuro, and Tamamari would kind of just be stuck there since she doesn't have access to her chakra. Yet anyways, the whole 64 palm still hasn't worn off. As the group would soon encounter Shino, with Shino taking care of Kankuro, distracting him. Sasuke would thank him while flying past him. Are being left to Sasuke, who would eventually wake up Naruto. Naruto would ask what happened. Sasuke would say that there's no time to really explain. Just know they have to take on Gaara. Gaara would finally show himself and, well, not show himself, emerge from the forest, as the three would have a good old-fashioned stare down. But anyways, that will end off today's video. As always, hopefully you guys enjoyed. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Maybe if we get enough likes, I'll decide to upload that other series early, or maybe a comment about it. Also, a small shout out to Nexus. Chiha, kind of been supporting the series from the beginning. Thanks, buddy. Now, for that, I can get support from other people. But that aside, once again, hopefully you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget sharing does help too. And with that,